Yeah, so I actually got really lucky with my first makeup department head job. I had been in the industry for years already, but I was mostly doing um, advertising, editorial, fashion stuff, and like commercials and stuff like that. My first feature film that I ever got, I got to makeup department head, which was incredible. That doesn't happen very often. Usually, you start low and then you build to that. And it was a cinematographer who I'm really good friends with, who I had done a million commercials with. He was going to be the cinematographer for this feature, and he recommended me to them, and they hired me.
Nice.
Like without having any makeup department head credits, they took a leap of faith and they hired me, and then I actually ended up doing 12 or 13 movies with that production company, which got me a lot of just so much experience. I learned and I grew with them. I'm still like so close with all those people. They're like family. And then it sort of took off from there. Once you have an IMDb and you have a list of makeup department credits, people will trust you, and then more opportunities come. So I got lucky with that one.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on today's episode, I have Kristy Strate in the Friends of Beauty guest chair. So Kristy is a bi-coastal TV and film makeup artist who recently served as the makeup department head for the 2024 South by Southwest Select Film Babes, which follows the main character Eden as she leans on her married best friend and mother of two, Dawn, to guide her after becoming pregnant from a one-night stand. Okay, I need all the tea. So welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Kristy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here.
I'm so excited to meet you, to talk to you, learn about your journey as a makeup artist and about this film. But before we do that, we have to do some icebreakers.
Okay.
So I always say, so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do professionally.
Okay.
So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Okay. It's like, what am I outside of my career? Well, I grew up on a farm. So I've been a city dweller between LA and New York for the past 17 years, but I grew up in a tiny, tiny town in the middle of nowhere on a farm. So at heart, I'm just a little country girl.
Nice.
I hate shopping. I feel like most women love shopping, like retail therapy is everything. I hate shopping. I hate going into stores. I hate having to buy clothes. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes and accessories. It's just not my thing. My money goes other places, trust me, but not on clothes.
Love that. Love that.
Number 3, I'm a nature lover. Like if I'm not on set working, all I want to be doing is be outside with animals and nature. I love hiking. I love camping. I grew up riding horses. And so I have friends in the area that I get to go ride with sometimes. So nature is like my therapy.
Ooh, that's so exciting. So first of all, I wish that I lived on the farm like right now, like with just my animals and secluded and just tending to the land. Like that's
I
so
know. Isn't
so
it
cool.
nice? It's like
Yep,
it's such
I
a good
wish.
life.
I wish. And then I love animals. I love being outside as well. And I like the fact that you said, like, what am I outside of, like, what I do? I literally just made a post about that yesterday on my Instagram. Like, yeah, I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing it for 11 years, but here's some other things about me because I'm not just a makeup artist. I like being in nature. I like, hiking, so I shared like some stuff on my Instagram. It's funny you
I
said
love that. I know we spend so much time. I mean, in order to be successful in this industry, you have to eat, breathe, and live it constantly, right? So it kind of becomes our whole personality, and it is important to sort of step away and be like, okay, there are other things in life.
Exactly. I totally agree. Do you have any guilty pleasures right now? Things you're indulging
Guilty
in?
pleasures. I mean, I've been eating a lot of sugar lately, which normally I don't. I don't have a sweet tooth. I'm not like a sugar person, but I just wrapped up a film a week ago, and I was eating craft services nonstop. Sugar, sugar, sugar. and it's manifesting in my skin. I need to stop. But sugar, that seems like such an obvious one, but for me, that's not normal. So I've been on a sugar kick.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes it gets like that, but
It does.
spring, like first day of spring is supposed to be today, maybe. You gotta
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back to it, girl.
Get it back together. Exactly.
Uh-huh. Starting to warm up. Well, it's probably just warm year round where you are.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hot today. Where yeah,
Nice.
we're finally it was really cold. Like, LA normally doesn't rain a lot, but it's been
Uh,
really cold and rainy these past two winters. And so, but now the sun is back, thank God.
I'll send you some snow, don't worry.
I would love it. I would love it.
Because I'm in DC, so we get snow
Oh, okay.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have these random stack of cards called pod decks that have random
Okay.
questions in it. This is a what the heck and a would you rather. Which one do you want?
Okay. Would you rather?
Would you rather? Okay, please don't scare Kristy away. 'Cause it's totally random and not make it related. That's boring. Let's see. Okay. Would you rather appear as a guest on your favorite TV show or have lifetime backstage passes for any concert you attend?
Oh, backstage passes for sure.
Yeah.
I do not like being in front of the camera, so this is actually hard for me.
You're doing great.
Thank you. No, but backstage passes would be great. I love live music. I don't see it nearly as much as I would like to, but I mean, I've never been to a concert I didn't think was amazing.
Yeah.
So that one for sure.
Okay. I love that. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Hmm. I'm good with plants. I guess going back to the nature farm thing.
Yeah.
I'm a plant mom. I have like a million plants in my apartment, and back when I had my Brooklyn apartment, I had two places for a while, and I had a whole jungle in my Brooklyn apartment, and I sadly had to give some of those plants away. It was
Oh,
very emotional for me.
dang.
And I also do ikebana, which is this like Japanese style of floral arrangements. It's very like minimal and like structural. So I've been doing that as a hobby. So I guess plants.
Oh, I'm gonna look into that because I was just telling someone that I want to get into making bouquets or just kind of designing my own, floral.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that. That's really cool. I have
It's
plants too. We
Oh,
got
I
a lot in
love
common
it.
so
Yeah,
far.
I love it. No, you should look into it. It's really fun. It's such a fun therapeutic thing to do, and
Yeah.
yeah. Just Google Ikebana. It's like they're gorgeous, gorgeous
Ooh,
arrangements.
I can't wait. Yeah, someone bought
Yeah.
me a Monstera some years ago, and it like really
Ooh.
boosted my confidence with plants because before then they will always die. I thought I had a black thumb or whatever you call
Yeah.
it. You can't take care of plants because they would just come into my care to pass away. But now the
Oh,
Monstera gave me so much confidence that, after that I started like a garden and, started getting really into it. So
nice.
I'm really good at it now with growing,
Yeah.
tending
It
to
takes
like.
time to like, and you have to like each plant is its own thing, right? So it
Mhm.
takes a lot of patience and time, but it's worth
Yeah.
it.
Okay. When is the last time that you did something for the first time?
Hmm.
New experiences.
I'm trying to think. I've been working so much that I've just been working.
Yeah.
I just bought a house. I just bought my like I did that for the first time. That was
Yes.
a journey and an experience that I never want to go
Congratulations.
through ever again.
I
Thank
know
you.
that's right.
Thank you. My partner and I looked for a very long time. We finally found this place and it's coming together. But that was a first time experience and it was not fun. It's
You
not
made it.
easy.
Made it.
We
Hopefully
made
you'll
it.
be there for a very long time. You won't have to do it anytime
Yes.
soon again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So the last one, if you weren't a makeup artist, is there anything else you could see yourself doing right now?
Um, I've always loved like art department, like set design and props and stuff. If I were to still be in the film industry, like I would love to work in that department. Because they just get to create and build and paint and like I love doing things with my
Right.
hands. So that would be a fun one. Outside of film and TV, I would probably have an animal sanctuary or something.
I love that. Oh, I'm coming to visit.
Please
I'm
do.
coming to volunteer with the
Yes, we'll
animals.
need them. We'll need them.
That is so cool. It is so funny. Even though I'm a makeup artist and you just mentioned set design, it's so many moving parts that people like even myself, I didn't even consider people have to stage, the scenes and all of that stuff
Mhm.
for films. There's so many moving parts. I do.
It's crazy. Yeah, so many departments, so many people to just make an hour and a half movie. It's
Yeah.
pretty nuts.
Right, right. So you recently, so the film Babes premiered at the South by Southwest Festival on March 9th. How has
Mhm.
the feedback been so far?
Good. I mean, so I actually haven't seen the final thing yet.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the theater release. It's supposed to come out in theaters in May. So I
Mm.
haven't actually seen the final thing yet, but it seemed really good. Everybody's really excited about it. There was a lot of buzz around it. I mean, Ilana Glazer, everybody loves her comedy and her humor, and she hasn't done anything in a little while. So I think people are really excited to see her come back and do something. And a couple of reviews that I read were good. They loved it. So we'll
Right.
hope it keeps going.
That's cool. So what's the purpose of the festival? Is it like to premiere films there first before they hit the theaters? Is that
Yes, yeah.
okay?
So most films will try to get into the festival circuit, whether that's South by Southwest or Tribeca in New York or Cannes in France or Sundance in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So they just gets people, it gets more buzz, and sometimes films don't have their distribution yet,
Mm.
and they'll get picked up through with their distribution through the film festival, or it'll just get the buzz going before the theatrical release. So.
Nice. Have you ever attended before?
I never have actually. I thought I was going to make it to this one, and then I was on a movie when it happened, so I wasn't able to make it, but
Oh, man.
someday.
Hey, friend, I really need your help with something. I'm planning to host my very first travel retreat in 2024, and this is why. I live in DC, but I love to travel. My last few trips, I've gone to Mexico, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, but I'm starting to get that urge to hop on a plane again very soon. And I've been thinking about what I want for myself and what I want for Friends in Beauty in 2024, and that is to make a bigger impact and build deeper connections while doing the things that we love. Like, what better way to do that than on a bomb trip, making new memories together, learning from one another, experiencing new cultures, and laying out in the sun? What I really want is for us to get into the habit of resting, recalibrating, and celebrating ourselves more. We work so hard on a day to day basis, and I want this experience to be an all play, no work type of vibe. You feel me? I'm ready to have some fun and I want you to come along with me. Instead of catching all the highlights on my Instagram and YouTube, all you have to do is fill out a brief 2-minute survey to let me know where we should go, what your budget is, and the best time of year and what you want to do. I'll leave the link here and below in the show notes. I am super duper excited to collaborate with you on this. Let's make this retreat happen and get your passports ready because we getting up out of here. I know this. So, like, when you do see films that you work on, are you like really critical? Are you watching it with entertainment? Are you watching it for entertainment, or are you just like
Um,
criticizing your work? Look at your kitty. Oh,
yeah,
he's
sorry, he's being loud. I knew he
so
would be.
cute.
Um, when I watch my own or when I watch just movies in general?
When you watch the films that you've worked on.
Oh, I'm very critical when I watch the ones that I work on. It's hard also to totally lose yourself in the movie because you're like, oh, I was standing right there during that scene. This was happening during that scene. And then you see things about your work that you were like, oh, I wish that would have been that way, or that one turned out awesome, but you're totally thinking about the
Yeah,
experience itself. So,
yeah.
and I'm very critical about my own work. I would say about probably 60 to 70% of the TV and film I've worked on, I haven't even watched.
You haven't
Um,
watched the final projects?
yeah, a lot of them I haven't. Some of them I have for sure, but there's a lot that I actually haven't. And I know a lot of actors are the same way. I know some actors that they never watch their own films after because it just gets in their head and it just like trips them up and they don't enjoy it. So,
What? I did not even realize that. See, I'm the type of person like I need to see how it came out.
yeah. I mean, some of them for sure. Not all of them, but Babes, I'm definitely very excited to see that. 100% I'm going to watch Babes.
Okay. So how did you come to work on this project?
It was a referral. A friend referred me to the producer who's putting it together. And then he put me in touch with Ilana, who interviewed me, and
Mhm.
we really vibed. And she liked what I was suggesting for things, and we had a good energy. So that
I
was that.
love that. How long was your interview process? Did you have to do several interviews or was it like one and done?
So the producer, you always like do kind of a quick interview with them just to kind of like feel things out. But usually if it's a recommend from somebody that they already know and trust, it kind of is a done deal in that regard. And then it's always usually interview with the director and or the lead actors just to see if they vibe and suggest ideas and things like
Yeah.
that. And then, so it depends. Sometimes I've interviewed 2 or 3 times with people, and sometimes it's been like a one quick one and done thing. So it just
Yeah.
depends.
This is
This
really
one,
cool.
this one, I actually didn't interview with the director at all. I just interviewed with Alana. So
Nice. Okay. 'Cause I'm having the opportunity lately to talk to, I think you're maybe like the third makeup department head I've talked to.
okay.
So I didn't even realize that the interview, like there was a whole interview process with the director. I just didn't know anything about
Mhm.
that world. And I think that's really cool. Do you have any suggestions for how people can prepare? Like if they're just becoming a makeup department head, like how they can prepare for an interview?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing I think is just knowing the material that you're going in with, right? Like like you'll always get the script before you're going to interview because you need to know what you're working with.
Yeah.
So just really be familiar with the material and the script. Have a lot of really good creative ideas for the characters. Have sort of we always have to do a makeup breakdown for the film so that we know our continuity and we know the characters. So you do a simple quick version of that just so that you really have your head wrapped around everything. So when you're talking to them, they're confident in you, like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. She has a plan. She knows the
Right.
material, and they're confident in your skills.
Okay, I love that. So what was the vibe on set working with Alana Glazer and Michelle
It
Buteau?
was
Like,
it was so fun. I mean, those girls are like, it was incredible. I've done a lot of like dramas and heavier movies, and so to do a comedy was so refreshing. Everybody was laughing on set the whole time. Michelle and Ilana were like, they would bounce back and forth and improv all the scenes. It was amazing. So much like they're incredible comedic actors. They were so much fun to watch, and the
yeah,
vibe was good. Everybody got along. It was fun. It was a fun movie.
yeah. How long were you all filming for?
It was a quick one. I think that one was 5 weeks or 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really quick. I've always thought movies were like a months, like months, at
They
least
can
like
be. They
months.
can be. Like, big stunt ones and explosion ones and traveling around the world. Yeah, they can be at it for months sometimes. But a lot of these smaller ones are like, yeah, 5, 6, 7 weeks.
Got you. Are there any characters in the film that you could relate to in any kind of way?
I mean, I've always kind of related to just Ilana's sort of vibe in general. Like I loved Broad City. She's hilarious. And so just her as a person and as the character, I think she's quite relatable to most women, I think. Just the things that she writes about and portrays in
Uh-huh.
her work. Everyone's experienced those things. So
Yeah.
she's very relatable. I don't have any children, so the premise of
Don't let your cat
Michelle's
hear that.
character. Oh, I know. I have children. Don't
Right?
worry.
He's like,
Yeah,
meow.
now he's
What about
mad.
me?
But yeah, the premise of Michelle's character, she has a child to begin with in the movie, and then has another child as the movie goes on. So she's a mother of two, and that I mean, I have nieces and nephews, but it's a totally different thing. So
Right.
it's fun to watch. Though it's fun to watch a character go through that.
Right. I cannot imagine. I'm over here trying to like, if I had kids and my best friend came to me like, girl, I had a one night stand and like, what would you say? Like, how would you even guide your friend through that?
I mean, I don't know. That's hard because yeah, from a one night stand and her character is like kind of wacky and wild, and so Michelle's character Dawn is concerned and nervous for her, but she's supportive. But yeah, I don't know. I think of course, I would try to be supportive, but I'd have some worries.
Yeah, that's interesting. My best friend had a baby, which the baby just turned 1. But just I don't have children either. I hope my cat doesn't hear me. I don't have any human children. But just watching her go through that process, like I can't imagine doing that by myself.
Yeah. I'm at the age now where a lot of my friends are having children, and
Mhm.
yeah, it looks hard. It looks
Are they
really
looking at
hard.
you like
They're
Kristy?
champions.
When you're next. Everybody's like, you're next,
I
you're next.
I think they all know that's I don't think I'm going down that path. But you
I
never
know
know.
that's
You
right.
never
To
know.
each their own, you never know how
Yeah,
things were, how the cookie
exactly.
crumbles.
Yeah, you never know. Never say never.
Right. So the makeup though. So when it comes to, because I feel like as makeup artists, when you're working with clients, a lot of times people want to be able to show their hand, like this is all the tricks that I can do. But when you're doing film and you're creating makeup looks for just regular everyday women, like how do you go about just creating, being as simple as possible, or just the nuances of creating just a makeup look on film for a regular everyday woman?
Right. That's what I kind of love about it is that there's obviously the glamorous side of makeup where you're doing it all up and your red carpet looks and whatever, but
Mhm.
to make characters feel real for a movie is so much fun to me. I love that. And with Alana's character, um, the schedule's tight and everything is shot out of order. So we're shooting, different story days in the same day, and then you're revisiting those story days. So everything's out of order. So you have to recreate the same looks over and over again. And in the same day, sometimes do 3 or 4 or 5 different makeup looks.
Yeah.
And so, that was a quick schedule of like 5, 6 weeks. So we were crunched. So I did have to keep things pretty simple.
Mhm.
But one thing that we did do, since the movie spans about a year worth of time, we did just really subtle things with Ilana's tones. So I had like this beautiful sort of auburny crimson color on her lips and cheeks for fall and winter, and this like gorgeous sort of wildflower tint on her lips for summer. So just quick changes that can like come on and off really quick.
Yeah.
But and maybe the audience won't even notice it, but little things that sort of drive the timeline and change her up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we did really want her to have that like gorgeous pregnant glow. So really healthy, dewy, gorgeous skin. We wanted to give her that healthy pregnancy glow.
Mhm.
So everything was like cream-based makeups and like good skin prep to begin with, and just making sure she
Nice.
looked really healthy.
Okay, I
And then
love.
with Dawn's character, we did she goes through a story arc where she's fabulous and gorgeous in the beginning, and then as she has her second child and she's raising a toddler and a newborn, she gets tired and run down, and so she starts to look a little more tired, and her hair is not done and her makeup's
Yeah.
not done. So the story arc for her is visual in that way.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. As far as the brands, are there any brands that you kind of go to for create? Well, you mentioned creams. I love creams. Is there any brands
Yes.
that you were kind of like going or pulling for this film in
Yeah.
particular?
So my go-tos right now, skin like complexion wise, I love the Kojendo foundations. It's a
Okay.
Japanese brand,
Yep.
and Care Weiss, which is she's a Danish makeup artist that started her own line. So
Nice.
those two are like my go-tos for complexion because they just give that like real skin look. Like your real skin still shows through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just enhanced and smooth and beautiful and hydrated.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to do anything like heavy, so those are great for that. And then I actually love the It Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Under Eye for like
Okay.
spot treatment things or under eye, because that just blends with the skin so beautifully, but it gives you that extra coverage in the places you need it.
Nice.
And then skincare wise, like obviously, skin prep is so important. So a good moisturizer. I love the Dr. Hauschka Day Rose Cream.
Uh-huh.
I had some La Prairie on this one. We got a little luxury with some La Prairie
Okay.
for under eye. And then there's this balm that I'm obsessed with.
Hey, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I need you to do something really, really important for me, like right now. I need you to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let the people know how much you love the Friends of Beauty podcast. See, in the podcast streets, I'm going to let you know something. If you don't leave a review, then people don't know that the show exists, and then the show won't grow. Reviews are so essential to the continued success of the Friends of Beauty podcast, and plus, I really just want to know what you think about the podcast. I appreciate all the DMs, but a 5-star review would be even better. I would love to read your review on the show and give you a shout out for being a loyal listener. And if it's not a 5-star review, don't even worry about it. All right, don't even worry. Just go ahead and send me an email, honey. We ain't got time for that. If you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and even leave a comment to share a takeaway from something that you learned so far. If you don't subscribe or give a thumbs up, then the YouTube streets don't know that the Friends of Beauty podcast exists either. You see how this is going? This is a group effort, and I appreciate you so, so much. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Let's go ahead and get back into the episode.
That I use. It's like my go-to in my kit for years and years now. It's called Mom Stuff Salve, and it's this natural organic balm that is amazing under makeup. It just makes the makeup melt into the skin, and
Ooh,
like it's gorgeous. You can use it for lip balm. You can use it for cuticle oil. It's like because it's just a natural organic balm, so you can put it anywhere, and
yeah.
it's the best.
I love that. Are there any brands or I don't know, maybe brands. Are there any brands that you noticed don't read well on film that people should kind of, or is it more of like a texture thing?
Um, I mean, it so depends on the person's skin. I mean, like you work on every skin type, so something will look great on one person and it just
Yeah.
won't work on another. So it's
Yeah.
really trial and error. But I do try to stay away from anything that's like too thick or too dry or too powdery.
Yeah.
Just because I prefer that like more natural, real skin look. So
Mm-hmm.
the more hydrating, the better. And you can layer and mix to pump the texture up if you need it to be more, or like break it down with moisturizer if you need it to be a little less. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't like anything like too heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Did you have to hire a team or anything for this film? Any other
Yeah,
makeup
so
artists?
it was yeah, we did I had a key the whole time. So the way it breaks down in TV and film is it goes makeup department head and then key and then your additionals under that. So I had a lovely key. She does beautiful makeup as well. She was with me. She helped me a lot with Michelle's character Dawn.
Okay.
And then I did hire a special effects makeup artist to help me with one character. Ilana's the character's name is Eden. Eden's doctor goes through this crazy transformation with his hair. So first he has a comb over and then he shaves it off and we see that he has like a really lumpy, weird head. And then he gets hair plugs. And so it was a whole situation with him. So I hired a great special effects makeup artist to help me with that.
Okay.
And then we had some additionals come in and help when we had like extra cast members that we needed extra help with. So I think total there was 6 of us, but
Mm-hmm.
2 of us like on full time. And then
Nice.
there was the hair department head separate as well.
Nice. Now, are you pulling from your own network of artists that you've worked with before that you know, or do they have to go through the same process of interviewing with producers and things like that, or they interview with you?
Luckily, as the department head, I always get to build my own team. So
Okay.
I bring people on that I've worked with before and that I trust or that I recommend from other people. So yeah, I get to build my team, which is great.
I love that. And I always stress to people like the power of building relationships and just the importance of building relationships in this industry. Because you get like how you said you were referred for this film and you can bring on people that like gotta know somebody
Mhm.
to get in there. So
Exactly. Yeah, you never want to burn a bridge. You never know. And
mhm.
yeah, networking is so important. It's like half the job.
Really is. I just had this random thought too. What do you do when you're filming and maybe somebody has a random breakout or allergic reaction to something and their skin freaks out? Have you ever had to deal with that before?
Yeah, so it's you can only do so much sometimes, but I have had people that have broken out in hives from pollen outside and they've had to
Right.
take antihistamines and we've had to sort of clean their face off and let it breathe and give them a second and then reapply everything. You know, acne breakouts are something we always deal with, of course. So it's just about making sure the skincare is good. Luckily, if I'm working with people for weeks at a time, so if they're dealing with the breakout, I can give them good skincare to use to help maintain their skin throughout. There's a really amazing mask that I love. The skincare is the brand is called REN, and they make a
Mhm.
glycolic mask that is to die for.
Nice.
So you can use that as like a spot treatment if an actor is breaking out. So I'll always have that in my kit on hand and just give it to them to spot treat if they need it.
Okay.
And then a lot of times it's just about like needing time to take makeup off, refresh, and put it back on. Because skin
Mhm.
is fickle, skin is moody. So
Right.
you have to treat it like a little baby.
I know, right. And then also when it comes to the makeup that you use for the films, just in general, are you using your personal kit or are you ordering makeup specifically for the film, like from the film's budget? Like how does that work?
So I of course like have a fully stocked kit all the time,
Uh-huh.
has everything I could ever possibly need. But a lot of times for films, brands will also send product support. So we'll get stuff to use for the film, which is great. I used a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills on this because they have actually a really great line of cream products. Like all of their cream bronzers and blushes and lipsticks and stuff are really nice. So they sent us a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice.
La Prairie sent us some stuff. So sometimes we get goodies,
Yeah.
and then we do also always have like a budget from the film, so we can get anything else that's necessary. And anytime there's special effects involved, that's obviously a separate budget. But yeah,
Yeah.
so between my kit, goodies, and budget, we always
Okay.
what we need.
So cool. I know I keep saying that, but this is like I just love doing like talking to new people. I've just learned so much. Even though
I know
I've been a
there's
makeup artist for 11 years, but I'm not necessarily in TV and film. So I just get to learn so much from talking to
I
people.
know it's crazy how different the worlds are. There's so many ways to be a makeup artist. There's so many avenues you can take, and they're
Mhm.
totally different.
Yeah, for sure. How was it recreating Beyonce's 2017 pregnancy announcement, the flower?
That was that
Yeah.
was fun. That was fun. Eden's the character Eden is like obsessed with Beyonce. And so she's going like all out with all of her baby shower thing, her photo shoot, like all of it. She just wants to go like totally ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the script that we were creating that. And so between hair, makeup, and wardrobe, we were like, okay, we're gonna have fun with this one.
Yes.
It was great. Wardrobe was so fun. They had like the veil. The hair department head, Fallon, she's amazing, amazing. She got this awesome long wig for her. We had like amazing like press on long claw nails. It was so much fun. And then I had silicone pregnant bellies of different sizes for her throughout the film because we do see her bare belly quite a few times.
Okay.
And that was one of the moments, obviously, the belly was out and showing.
Wow.
So that was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah, how does it
everybody
work
on
with
set
that?
with the bellies.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many ways you can do it. Normally, you would probably do like what's called a foam latex prosthetic. That's sort of like a lightweight prosthetic that would go on. It would be glued on, and
Hmm.
like there's seamless edges. You blend everything away, and it's sort of it just looks like it's part of her. But because we were going to see her belly so many times throughout this film, and we had to take the belly on and off sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 times in a day.
Oh,
So we
wow.
needed something that could go on and off really quick and easy, not something that like had to be glued and then removed and all that.
Hmm.
So we had these big silicone. They're pretty heavy too. They had weight to them, so she really felt like she was carrying around a pregnant belly. Um, but it was like a big silicone belly that all the way around it would sort of wrap all the way around her belly,
Uh-huh.
or around her back. So it was just
Yeah.
one full piece that went all the way around, and she would sort of step into it, and we'd roll it up her body. I'd have to powder the whole thing. We'd
Oh,
roll it up her body, place it, um, and then she would run around in that.
wow. How long did that take to put the belly on?
The first couple times it was a bit of a struggle. Because we were trying to like, it's, silicone against skin. It's like it rubs. It
Oh,
doesn't. It
yeah.
doesn't just slip on nicely. So it
Right.
was like we had it like two or three of us just like hoisting this thing, trying to get it up over her. So to I don't know. I think maybe 10 or 15 minutes each
Okay.
time. But then we realized Alana was like, why don't we try rolling it? So instead of like dragging it up her body, we would roll it up, and that was much easier. So then we got it down to like a few minutes by the end.
That is so funny. I would be so curious to put one of those things on one day just to see how heavy it
I
is.
know, yeah, it was so funny. The first time she put it on, she's like, "Oh, this is like." I mean, it was great because then it made her like feel more like the character. It wasn't just some like super lightweight thing. Gave her some realism.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm starting to learn too in talking to makeup department heads is I didn't realize how much detail went into even background actors or just people that are just in the scene in the back. Like I just had no idea. Did you all have to do a lot of work with any background like supporting actors or just people that's in a restaurant or making sure they look
Yeah.
good?
So anytime we have anyone who's like actually on camera has lines, we'll have extra makeup artists come in to get them ready if we don't have time to get to everybody, and they'll have a look. We sort of designate like who should look like what,
Yeah.
and then we delegate that to other artists. And then for a background, you'll usually have a team of people, and they're just like checking background off. So like they'll take a look. If they look fine for the scene, they let them
Yeah.
go. If they don't, if they need something done or their makeup is too heavy, they're supposed to come camera ready.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you'll need to add something or change something or whatever. So, or like for this one, background was super simple, but for say a TV show that's a period piece, they have
Right.
teams of like dozens of makeup artists that are getting all those people into like 1980s or 1800s hair and makeup, and it's so there's definitely huge teams that go into things like that. This one was a lot more simple with the background. It's just modern day, so people just
Yeah.
needed to look normal.
That's perfect. Shoot. How do
Yeah.
you occupy yourself on set, or is it always something to do? Because I know back in the day, people used to say it's a bunch of hurry up and wait. Like you get rushed and you just, sit there, you do nothing. Is it still like that, or how do you occupy?
It depends on the day. Some days it's just like go, 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 go. Like you don't have a second to breathe, and it's just crazy for like 15 hours. Some days it's definitely you get everyone ready, and then you go to set, and they're not ready on set, so we sit around and wait for an hour, and then we have to touch everybody up because they've been sitting around for an hour waiting.
Right.
Um, I will say though, I scroll a lot on Instagram. It's pretty
Okay.
bad. But I can't I would love to sit with a book and read or something, but I can't like be on set like, I have
Yeah,
to pretend like I'm kind of paying attention, but like
right.
Instagram I can sneak some Instagram in there.
That's so funny. I like sometimes I do TV stuff. I do like some reality TV stuff. I bring my laptop. I don't care what they think. Like
Smart.
because I feel like I have to always be doing something. I have to be
Yeah.
I have to be productive in some kind of way. So I have other things going on. I'm like, I
Yeah,
need
for
to check
sure.
my emails. I need to type, and I bring my
Yeah.
laptop in a hot second.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So tell me about like growing up on the farm. Like, do you have siblings, and how was that?
Yeah, I'm one of five and I'm right in the middle. I mean, it was great. Obviously, growing up, you never appreciate what you have, right? Until you're an adult and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that was pretty great, actually. But yeah, so we didn't have a lot of animals. We had horses and like a million barn cats, but we grew grain and alfalfa hay to then sell to like livestock owners for their cows and horses and stuff. So we had like just acres and acres and acres of land. So we would have to go out twice a day in the morning and in the evening and do all the farm work. We'd have to irrigate all of the fields. So it's just a lot of manual labor. I was a
Uh-huh.
strong young girl,
Yes.
a lot of muscle. But yeah, I mean, it was great. We'd be out there every evening as the sun set out in the fields. Is so peaceful and quiet. And actually went back during like COVID lockdown. Me
Yeah.
and my partner went to my family farm for a month just to get out of the city. We were living in New York at the time. And so we road tripped to just be on the farm for a month. And it was like revisiting. I mean, I've gone home for holidays and stuff, but being
Yeah.
there for like a full month and doing the farm work again as an adult, I loved it. I fell in love with it. I was like, this is what I got to do every day. This is amazing. Just being
Yeah.
out in the fields, it's gorgeous.
As a kid, you're like, this is a chore.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
ask for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you creative at all as a child? How was your creativity spark?
Yeah, I mean, I was always like running around, getting dirty, doing arts and crafts. But it's funny, I never did makeup. I was kind of a tomboy growing up, and like I
Yeah.
I didn't really wear makeup even all through high school. I think the only thing I ever did to myself was mascara and lip gloss.
Yeah.
Um, so I originally wanted to get into makeup artistry for special effects because I was fascinated by the film world. So I was like, I actually knew in high school that this is what I was going to do. But I was like not a glamorous person by any means. So makeup wise, I didn't really do that as a kid at all. But I was always kind of creative and wanting to
Yeah.
like use my hands.
Yeah. I'll probably say the same thing. I think when I got to high school, I started experimenting with, eyeshadow maybe and maybe lip gloss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily grow up with makeup like in the house. My mom does not wear makeup. It was not a
Hmm.
thing. Press on nails though. I love press on nails as a kid. I
Oh,
still wear press on
yeah.
nails as an adult.
Love it.
But I didn't grow up with like makeup. But somebody asked me the other day, she was like, "Did you color as a child? Like, were you?" I said, "You know what? Maybe I did color because I'm always trying to figure
Yeah.
out how my interest in makeup got sparked." And I was like, "Well, I did used to color. I like to
Yeah.
paint every now and
I
then." So
I think people who are fascinated by like colors and textures, it's sort of like a natural thing that to want to
yeah,
do makeup, right?
yeah. And I used to
Yeah.
make jewelry, and
Oh,
my mom is
cool.
she can draw, and she used to do hair, braid and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah, yeah.
I get that from her. I don't know.
How did you decide that makeup was sort of your fascination instead of hair, being that your mom did hair? Did you
Right.
ever want to do hair?
I wanted to be a hairstylist. I graduated from
Oh,
high school when I was 17 though. So everybody was like, that's cute, but you need a backup plan. You need to go get your
yeah.
degree. So I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that, graduated during the recession, could not find a job.
Mm.
But as far as makeup, I was like in my late 20s when I started doing makeup and I was starting to get into makeup myself. So I was like, well, this is fun. Maybe I could make some money from this. And that's kind of how it started.
I love it. Don't you sometimes like I sometimes still pinch myself that I'm like this is what I do. I like play dress up and put makeup on people. This is my job. Like how is that
Yeah,
real?
exactly. Exactly. How does your career now compare to how you envisioned it when you first got into the industry? Did you ever imagine you were going to be in TV and film? And
That
you
I
did
mean
a
that was
lot of
always the
films.
goal. Yeah, It's been a journey. I mean, like I said, I was sort of fascinated by wanting to do makeup to begin with, specifically because of TV and film, not even necessarily the makeup aspect. I just thought film was so cool.
Yeah.
Um, so that was always the goal, but it took me a while to really get the film going in my career. Like the first handful of years, I also was 17 when I graduated. We have a lot in common.
We
And
do.
so I was young and I moved right out to LA, like right at 17 and needed to make money. So I got jobs at makeup counters. And so I was in the retail world for the first handful of years. And I never loved that. Like it just wasn't for me. But it was great training, right? You work on every type of person.
Right.
So it's a great base to start with. But the
Personalities.
goal, yeah, oh yeah, the personalities. But the goal definitely was always film. But I've been doing it for 17 years now.
Mhm.
And so it's been a long, slow journey. So
Yeah.
to see where I am right now, it's great to see that it finally happened because it wasn't an overnight thing. Like it took a lot of work and a lot of patience. And so I sometimes have to remind myself to be
Yeah.
proud of myself because of course
Yeah.
we always want more, right? And my goals are like forever.
Yeah.
But I'm in a good place. I need to remember that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I definitely never imagined that I'll have a podcast or
Yeah.
any of the things that I've gotten to do so far in the industry. I've never even imagined it that time that I made the decision. So I think it's just like
Yeah.
one step, like one day at a time. I tell people, you just keep moving forward, and then
Exactly.
you look
Oh,
up and you
it
don't even
one
recognize your life anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
like you said, one step at a time, like I to young people getting into it or at any age trying to get into it, it's like you can't be overwhelmed by the possibilities or the goals because that will be forever and ever. But it's one day at a time, one job at a time, one connection at a time, one
Yeah.
paycheck at a time, and it'll happen.
Yeah. Now, are you active on social media?
I am, but I'm so bad at it. I need
Okay.
to be better. I mean, I have Instagram, I post and stuff, but that's a weakness. That's something I need to
Yeah.
work on for sure. But yeah, I have an Instagram.
Do you take regular clients too?
Sometimes I don't really do a lot of weddings unless it's like friends or family, I'll do, but I do have like some private clients, people just like do and go, things like
Yeah.
that. But it's mostly TV film. And I do a lot of like advertising, fashion editorial type stuff as well, but
Gotcha.
mostly that world. I don't do a ton of just like regular do and go clients, but
Yeah.
mostly just because it hasn't, I mean, I would
Hmm.
call me. It just,
But you're
yeah,
always
I'm
on
just
set
usually, yeah,
for
exactly.
extended
Yeah.
amounts of time. So
Hmm.
yeah, I always tell people, I feel like if you work in TV and film, I feel like you don't necessarily have the same pressure, quote unquote, to be active on social media because people aren't necessarily going to social media to find TV and film makeup artists as like an industry or
Hmm.
connections thing. But I guess when you
Yeah.
work with clients, you got to be front facing, you got to be creating content and,
Yeah.
keeping up with the
Yeah.
Joneses and all that
I
stuff.
know the pressure of that's another full-time job, the social media
Mhm.
thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I noticed that with people that are in the industries, like they'll post, here and there, TV and film makeup artists, they don't really be active on social media like
yeah.
that. I
Yeah,
love
it's
that for
hard.
y'all.
Sometimes we have like weeks at a time that we just can't post anything, like we're not really allowed to post on, movie stuff while we're working on it. And
Right.
then it won't come out for another year and a half or two. So it's like we worked on something, but nobody knows about it until way after. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird, yeah, it's hard. Social media is hard for me. I need
Yeah.
a manager.
I know. Girl, don't even worry about it. If you're thriving without it, because I honestly feel like I would not really be on social media as actively as I am if I weren't
Mm,
doing what I do. I would
right,
just
right.
post, here and there. It wouldn't be so much thought that has to go into it. Save yourself the headache and the money. You're the
Yeah.
manager. But
Yeah,
it's not that
exactly.
serious. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So tell me about your journey to makeup department head. Like how did that first opportunity come about?
Yeah, so I actually got really lucky with my first makeup department head job. I had been in the industry for years already, but I was mostly doing advertising, editorial, fashion stuff, and like commercials and stuff like that. My first feature film that I ever got, I got to makeup department head, which was
Nice.
incredible. That doesn't happen very often. Usually you start low and then you build to that.
Hmm.
And it was a cinematographer who I'm really good friends with, who I had done a million commercials with. He was going to send, he was going to be the cinematographer for this feature, and he recommended me to them, and they hired me.
Nice.
Like without having any makeup department head credits, they took a leap of faith and they hired me, and then I actually ended up doing 12 or 13 movies with that production company, which got me a
Nice.
lot of just so much experience. I learned and I grew with them. I'm still like so close with all those people. They're like family. And
Yeah.
then it sort of took off from there. You know, once you have an IMDb and you have a list of makeup department head credits, people will trust you, and then more opportunities come. So I got lucky with that one.
Right. I saw your IMDb. I was like, wow, she's been out here working.
Yes, I have.
You have a
I'm
lot of stuff
tired.
on your profile.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's been a journey, but yeah.
Yeah. What's the craziest fire you had to put out on set?
Oof, so many. Um, it's like constant troubleshooting, constant problem solving. This is a crazy story. This was years ago. I was doing a movie up in Northern California, and there was a bunch of horses in this film, and there was a scene. We were shooting like up in these sort of like hills up in Northern California on some like back farmland,
Mhm.
and there was a bunch of horses that needed to look ill and like malnourished because they were supposed to be wild horses that were sort of like in a famine area, and they weren't very healthy, and these ranchers are trying to like wrangle them up and take care of them.
Yeah.
So these horses needed to look very malnourished and like have wounds and just be like not in good condition.
Hmm.
And I'm on set. We're up in these hills. My full makeup kit is, back at base camp, and I just have my set bag on me with, some basics. And suddenly I'm being told that I need to make these horses look with makeup, look sick and skinny, and so we had somebody there from animal control or whatever, making sure all the products were safe, so he checked my
Oh,
ingredients list and everything,
you
and
don't
I
want
had
PETA
to
coming
leave.
after y'all at all.
I know, but luckily, everything I had in my kit was good to go. I was like, if it's safe to put on babies, it's safe to put on horses.
Hmm.
Um, but we had to shade in ribs on the horses to like contour the ribs to make them look skinny. And luckily, I had some like fake blood and stuff on me, and like some scab stuff. So we did some like sort of scabby wounds around their hooves and stuff. And yeah, look, it turned out incredible. It actually looked amazing, but I was shook. I was like, I'm doing makeup on horses right now, and I was
I
not told I was
never.
gonna have to do that. Like, it was. I was like, and that was pretty early on, so I was of course like too young and timid to be like, I'm sorry, this is crazy. I didn't know about this. I need prep time. I was just like, oh my God, I have to do it, and
Yeah.
made it work, and it looked good. That's one I'll never forget.
Like, I just never imagined that you would have to put makeup on an animal. I thought they would just go
Yeah.
in with some kind of technology and, do their thing
You
on the
would
back
you
end.
would think you would think you would think no, they wanted it done practically. So, but
Right.
all the stuff I have in my kit it's almost all like organic, natural stuff. Like I'm pretty
Mhm.
particular about what I use, and so it
Yeah.
was safe, and we went with it.
That's crazy that you grew up with horses and then you had to work so closely with the horses
Yeah,
to do that. That's kind of cool though.
yeah, that
Is there
was.
is there anything artistry wise that you still want to improve on?
Special effects for
Okay.
sure. I apply prosthetics and paint prosthetics and stuff, and I've been doing that for years. But I don't make any of my own pieces. I source from friends that do it, or from
Yeah.
other people that make them, or I'll like get generic pieces. And I really want to start making my own, so that when I have projects that I need something, I don't have to outsource it, and I can actually create it myself.
Right.
So that's definitely something I'm going to start working on. Since I have this house now, I have a little workshop now that I
No.
can just get messy in. I mean, I've never had that space. I've always been in like a little apartment in New York
Uh,
where I don't have space to do that. But I have my little workspace now, so I can start experimenting and learning and making my own pieces.
so you can start experimenting, learning, making your own pieces, record yourself,
Mhm.
the process of you getting better and post it to social
Yes.
media.
There we go. There we go. That's the plan.
Yeah,
So you're my new manager.
take us on the journey with you of like, okay, I got my studio. This is the first thing I'm making in my studio. It turned
Yeah.
out okay, but this time we'll do it better. Yeah, we want to see the whole thing.
Yes. I love it. Okay, good idea. You'll
And
see
you
the
could do like a
journey.
time lapse if you don't want to you could just time lapse.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's actually that's good to that's a great idea. I'll be
Mhm.
better about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You just got to press record though, and you got to
I know.
post it. People have a lot of stuff in
Have,
their phone, but they don't post it.
yes. Have you ever accidentally not hit record on one of these?
Oh, I want to no. Whew.
Okay.
That's why I told you earlier. I was like, let me press record before I be mad. But
Yeah.
no, I actually yes, but I caught myself very like at the intro. Right when I
Okay.
did the
Okay.
intro, I caught myself and I was like, I was testing you. I wasn't recording. I did it like that. But yeah.
Oh, I love
Whew.
it. Good.
I would
Good
be
save.
mortified if I got to the end of this and I wasn't recording.
Oh my gosh, right? Ah.
That I what one thing that I'm fascinated by, that a lot of people, it's kind of like unpopular opinion. I'm fascinated by AI, honestly.
Mm.
Very fascinated by it. But how do you feel about AI as far as the TV and film industry goes? Because I know it's a lot of challenges with them trying to recreate people's likeness and,
Mhm.
what do you think about it?
Honestly, it terrifies me. I mean,
Mhm.
I get the fascination and I think that it, like with all technology, it can be used for good things and
That
it
deep
is an
fake is
art in
crazy.
itself. It's crazy. I
Yeah.
know it's scary. Um, I, of course, I worry about it taking the place of artists like myself and taking work away from us because they'll just create everything in a room on a computer.
Right.
And I've seen even just in the past year, it gets so much more realistic and so much better. In the beginning, it was like you could always tell, right? And it was
Yeah.
people were like, oh, but it doesn't look real. It doesn't look whatever. It's never, it's fine. You'll be fine. Like you'll always have a job. And then just in the last year, it's crazy how much better it's gotten.
Yes.
So it scares me for sure. My hope is that people will still want the real thing, that there will be some realism that like
Mhm.
real artists and real people and real actors can portray that AI just will never have.
Right, right.
And I hope that like if it starts to get out of hand, that there's some laws that are put into place or something so it doesn't just completely obliterate an entire industry, multiple
Right.
industries,
So many
Let's
industries.
see.
A lot of people are concerned about it taking jobs and things like that. Because I even know a lady I had her on the podcast. Her name is Joy Fennell. She does these AI beauty images.
Mm,
And if you saw them, a lot of them you would think that they're a model in a high fashion like shoot or something with some crazy outfit on, but it's
mhm.
all AI and they look so real. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of models, we talked about it on her episode, but a lot of people are concerned that they won't have jobs. They don't, but she was saying a lot of brands use that type of mock like as a mock-up for a campaign or something like that. So they don't want to
Oh,
shoot the whole
right.
campaign and then say, oh, I don't like it. They'll have somebody like digitize it to kind of see what the vibe
Right.
is first. But like you said,
Okay.
it's always like because there are people that do it for good, then it's always going to be people who just want to take over the world
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
use it for evil. So
Yeah, yeah. Or
I'm
just,
curious to see how it's
do
going to
do it
evolve.
cheaper and quicker.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how it'll go. It'll, the next couple of years will tell us a lot.
Because even just duplicating the background people, I didn't even know they did that in movies. I'm
Yeah.
just like so out of touch. I didn't even know they did that in movies, like just duplicate people over and over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I did a film a handful of years ago. We were shooting in like a big stadium and they had one section full of maybe like 40 BG actors just sitting there, and then they would move them to the next section, sit them there, move them to the next section, sit them there, and then they would like scramble and rearrange it in post production and like and
Oh
yeah, duplicate
God.
it all the way up. So they did use people, but they just like moved them around and then spread it out in post production. And yeah, it's pretty
Hmm.
crazy. Crazy
Yeah,
what they
like
can do.
when you work in an industry like this, how I don't want to say jaded, but like how I don't know how I would to say it. It's so because I know when I say it like this, when I see stuff on Instagram, sometimes it looks so real, but then you go to the comments and they're like, that was like four different people in that scene. It wasn't even the same person. Or you just when you see how stuff is created behind the scenes, how does it kind of take away from the reality of or the perception of things now? Like, do you look at
Hmm.
things like, is this real or is this like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to say
Um,
it.
I definitely I'll notice things when I'm watching TV and film for sure that I think anyone outside of the industry wouldn't notice.
Hmm.
Um, like weird background things or weird continuity things. If
Right.
something is like not right with the continuity, like the hair is here and then it's here and then it's here
Oh,
and then it's, or like
I
weird things like
noticed
that,
that
or like props and stuff not in the
for
right,
sure.
things like that. Um, but like I'm lucky in that I still can really lose myself in when I'm watching something, and I very much enjoy watching TV and film. Like I
Okay.
watch a lot, and
Just not your own.
I can, yeah, exactly. And I can still lose myself in it. Like I get judgy for sure about certain things, and I'll call stuff out, and but I
Yeah.
still very much enjoy watching
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So how do you determine what project that you want to work on, or do you ever turn anything down?
Um, I do turn things down occasionally if it's like if the budget isn't quite right, or if it's like I'm not a huge like horror genre fan, so like I've been asked to do a couple of horrors that just weren't quite right. Just like didn't think out that I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love like the special effects aspect of it, but it depends on, the storyline and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, or there actually has been a couple of times where a project has felt too like there's too much heavy special effects that I actually just felt unqualified for, so I would pass it to colleagues, things like
Yeah.
that. Um, but I've been really lucky. I've had a lot of jobs come my way that like this one with Babes was just so up my alley, and I
Yeah.
had such a fun time doing it, and I've really enjoyed like every movie that I've been able to work on. I've been lucky.
That's great. I love that. So have you given any thought to like what you want your legacy to be, or what kind of impact you want to leave on the industry?
Um, I want to be somebody who people always remembered as, you know, someone that was great to work with. Like I love how you champion fellow makeup artists and like put their stories out there, and you're like a cheerleader for people. I love that. Like there's so much like clickiness within the industry, right? People get territorial about their clients or their, whatever, and it can get really clicky. And um I'm very fortunate. I have so many great friends in, on both coasts that we lift each other up. And I want I want like our age of people and our generation of people sort of change the the norm, and that like
Mhm.
we're supporting each other and
Right.
like being good to each other and lifting each other up and passing work along and stuff. I don't want to be one of those people that's like clicky or territorial or
Yeah.
mean, I want that to sort of be the vibe that I give and the people I work with give.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the industry is changing for sure because
Mhm.
when I first started, it was a lot of what people say gatekeeping. Like you're not necessarily
Yeah,
getting the answers or the opportunities, or
yeah.
nobody wants to tell you how they got that client or how they got that
Hmm.
opportunity. But I think it
Yeah,
is changing. Just the landscape of the world. People are just like so much more supportive of people as far
yeah,
as just all our differences and everything. Just
yeah.
yeah, it's incredible to see.
It's very, very good. I've definitely seen it change in the years I've been in it, in a good way for the most part, which is nice to see.
Yeah. Is there anything that's coming up next for you that you can share?
I just wrapped a couple of movies. I did back to back. I flew out back to the East Coast January 2nd and was back to back on two. But I can't really talk about them yet.
Uh-huh. I love
And
that.
and then as far as I actually don't have anything on the books right now, so who knows? I might book something next week. I might not work for the next month. I have no idea. That's how it goes though. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what my next thing will be. Hopefully something big and fun. I'm pining for like a spring summer movie in New York. I split my time between here and there, but
Yeah.
I'm craving some New York time. So I want a springtime New York movie. So let's make it
Okay. Yeah, it's
happen.
coming. It's coming. Well, this has
Yeah.
been an amazing conversation. I don't want to let you go, but I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So whatever comes to your mind first, you can spit it out, or if you need to elaborate, that's totally fine too.
Cool.
So the first one is, what are the top three keys to your success so far?
Um, Hustle, like the hustle never ends.
Mm.
Just it's exhausting, but you can't stop. You can't stop.
Yeah.
I think sort of what I was saying before about just being a good person to work with, good
Yeah.
vibes, being kind, I think that speaks volumes. If people want to work with you again, they'll rehire you.
Yeah.
Um, and three, maybe my my ambition to like always create more and do more. Like I don't want to get stuck in one thing and only do that. I've kept sort of like the work that I do very, very broad and eclectic. So I have different avenues of things I can do, and yeah, keeping my skills going, not getting stuck.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. How do you measure your success?
How do I measure my success? Ooh, I mean, I measure myself to other artists a lot, which I think can be detrimental, right? Like we compare ourselves to other artists a lot, and I'll be like, oh, they're doing that amazing thing, or maybe I'll never get that far. But then I guess that keeps the drive going, right? To keep that going.
Yeah.
But I always I check in with myself a lot and remember where I came from, where I started, and how far I've come. And I have to always remember, like, myself 10 years ago would be blown away at where I am right now. And to just like always remember that and be grateful for that.
It's so true. Oh my gosh. Myself 10 years ago would be shook. Like, girl,
Yeah.
you did all of that.
Yay.
I feel like more than
that.
anything, I've changed as a person. Like I've grown like as a person, just being in the
Mhm.
industry. So yeah, totally get
Yeah.
that. What's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that's just always stuck with you?
Oof, that's a tricky one. A piece of advice. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep going back to the like not being a mean person. Like not like my partner is like he's amazing. He's in the industry as well. And like he's such a positive, like kind person. And I'll sometimes come home just being like angry and jaded and mad about something. And he's always like checking me and just telling me to like, you got to keep your head on, you got to stay positive, you got to be kind, you got to, don't let the jaded creep in, So I guess that to just keep it up here.
I love that. Yeah. What advice would you give to another TV film makeup artist right now who is just not really feeling it? They're not seeing the results they want. Maybe they're not getting booked as much and they're just ready to be like, I'm going to go back to the makeup counter.
I would just say like if it's your dream to do it, like don't give up on it, because like even the most successful people in the film and TV industry, like we all have this, like we do this, like we have our highs where we think, oh my gosh, I've made it, I'm never going to have another low, and then we have another low. Like it will always happen.
Yeah.
And to just keep going, like don't give up, because you might meet one person that changes it for you, or you do one job that just changes it for you. So just if it's your dream and your goal, like such a like simple obvious answer, but just don't give up, just keep going, because we're all going to have our highs and lows, so we're all in the boat together.
We really are. What's a resource that helps you or has helped you in your business that you could share with the friends and beauty community?
I mean, I am big on just like stalking other people that I look up to. Like Instagram obviously is such a big one, this day and age. But keeping up with other people's work and keeping yourself fresh. So like going on other people's Instagrams or their websites or watching their movies, and just constantly, like there's so much out there and there's so much inspiration. And so I'm always looking to other artists to like keep myself fresh and keep myself motivated, and looking to other artists I think is always the best thing.
Okay, love that. So this is the last one. I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is blank, whatever you think it is.
Okay, my name is Kristy Strate, and the key to longevity, wait, am I saying that right? To longevity and success, is patience. Patience and endurance.
Ooh, the endurance part.
I know. I'm tired, but yeah, we're going. We're still going.
Patience and endurance. That is so true. Wow. But before you go, please share however you want people to connect with you, whether it's social media, so we can see when you start posting again, website, whatever you want to share.
Awesome. So yeah, my Instagram tag is Kristy Strate Makeup. So my name. I have a website as well. It's kristymakeup.com. So that's where like where my biggest chunk of work is. Since again, I'm not great on social media. And then I have my IMDb as well if you need to like, see my credits, but that's also linked to my website. So kristymakeup.com. KRISTY.
Yes, thank you so much, Kristy. This has been a great conversation. I really enjoyed it so much.
Me too. This was so much fun. I really appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Rate and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.